Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Oriel Morrison-Higgins and I'm joined today by Geoff Laing, the Managing Director of Anax Metals, and Nick Jolly, Exploration Director there. Welcome gentlemen, great to have you both with me today.
Hi Oriel, good to be with you.
Thank you, Ariel.
Geoff, let me kick things off with you. Drills are about to turn at Whim Creek for the first time in many years, so it's an exciting time for you guys. Can you give us a bit of an update?
Yeah, sure. It's been a while coming, and the stars have sort of lined up in terms of the opportunity for us to, in parallel, do some exploration work with the development that's been ongoing on the project side of things, obviously for the last couple of years. So we raised some money earlier in the year. Nick Jolly joined the board, and Nick will give you some background to himself and what he sees in the project. But we've really got ourselves set now to do some exploration, near mine exploration work, to really test some of the upside that we've known is there, but we've just not had the opportunity from from having the cash to be able to do the development and the exploration. This has all now changed, and so we're on the front foot with that. So very excited to be, as you say, have a drill rig on the go for the first time in the last couple of years.
Well, I do want to talk about the cash, Geoff, in just a moment. But first of all, Nick, let me bring you in here because, as Geoff just mentioned, you have just joined the board. You're leading this project. What is getting you out of the bed in the morning, as a geologist? What are you excited to see?
Look, in Western Australia, there's so many brownfields projects that just haven't seen the exploration love they deserve. And Whim Creek's one of those, and it's for various reasons. Sometimes the company's cash strapped, sometimes the company that owns it has different priorities. So when I was invited to have a look at Whim Creek, the first thing I saw was, some resources that are very well drilled out, but as you start to step away from those known resources, the drilling just drops off. And as I said, for various reasons, I think the last operators, Straits Resources, they were an oxide focused company, so they're really only testing for oxide. And they hadn't done much deeper drilling. So when I came on board, I did a site visit. I sat down and went through with the company geologists and looked at the new geological model they were putting together for Mons Cupri, and it became very evident that there were big gaps in the drilling. There's lots of historical drill holes, which some have had kind of questionable downhole surveys, and these are stepping away from the known ore body. And also, in addition to that, there was very little downhole EM was conducted, and that's one of your greatest search tools for discovering base metal projects. So based on that, and after discussions with the board, we agreed that if we're going to have a good crack at Whim Creek, it wasn't going to be a small budget. We needed a decent sized crack just to make sure that we have the money to chase after the goods. And here we've landed. So I can confirm now that the rig is arriving on site this week. The team are already on site preparing for the program, and we're very excited with the opportunity that we see in front of us.
So Nick, what could actually be below, in your view, what's already been found?
Well, if you look at the main lens for Mons Cupri, and it does form 54% of the current reserve base, it's a big, thick lens, full of copper, full of zinc, plus a bit of silver, bit of gold as well. It's up to 30 meters thick, and it just hasn't been adequately drilled off down plunge. So I think immediately there could be extensions. And as with other base metal projects, VMS especially, they do occur in clusters. So we're taking an approach where we're stepping from known mineralization outwards, and we are using downhole EM on all of our holes to ensure that we have the best success, or the rate of success, for either targeting extensions or new discoveries.
Very much looking forward to seeing what the drilling shows there, Nick. Now, Geoff, you did talk about funding. Nick also intimated that it is going to be an expensive process. You've got around 40 million of indicative debt funding now in play. You've got a new COO on board too. How close are you to a final investment decision on Whim Creek?
Yeah, so if I'll just sort of split things out in a little bit more detail. So we recently raised $6 million for the drilling campaign and for working capital and some other key elements in our development process. So we're well funded in terms of the near-term programs. And then the 40 million that you refer to, we've had indicative offers for a debt funding package of circa 40 million US. And that's obviously for the development of the project. And we're currently working through a process with a number of potential financiers that includes both funds and trading groups. And the process in that will see them complete their due diligence, and then we aim to essentially get funding in place, ideally by early quarter four, and that would allow us to start moving towards an FID process late this year. I think certainly for me it's very exciting that we've taken on COO Danny George, and we'll be talking to him, and I'm sure in another discussion. But I think that's a stronger signal to the market that we're really moving ahead with the development. We'll be starting to move into some of the engineering studies, and that's all in preparation for to come out of the stocks at a sprint once we've got FID in place.
So what is the timeline from here on out? Geoff, you mentioned you mentioned some of your targets moving forward over the course of 2026. When would we expect to see some results from your drilling, and what else should investors be watching out for?
So I will, I'll hand back to Nick in a second to talk about the drilling and the timelines on results, etc. But just in terms of other activities, we will be talking a little bit about some front-end engineering studies. We'll be talking about some additional work that we're doing in the bioleaching space. So we've got, in terms of the development process, we've got a number of other parallel paths that we're working on. And then, of course, the funding will be the key one. So certainly in the next couple of months, I think the market can expect to see some news flow on engineering, on financing, and then importantly in the near term on the drilling. So I'll just hand over to Nick to talk about timelines on the drilling.
Okay, thank you, Geoff. Nick, yes, take us through what we can expect.
So, as I mentioned, the jury will be collaring its first hole this weekend. We are drilling down to depths of around about 400 metres, anywhere between sort of 200 metres and 400 metres. So we will know very quickly from the visuals, and obviously drilling diamond core as well. If we hit massive sulfides, then we can get those indications to the market very quickly. But I would be expecting assay results starting to drill in probably from August going forward to mid to late August.
All right, well, you're certainly very busy over there. It's exciting times. Thank you both, Geoff and Nick, for chatting to us today. It's been great to have you with us.
Thanks, Oriel.
Thanks, Oriel.